They called him useless now. Arun, 67, sat alone in a quiet room filled with blueprints and dust. Once a brilliant engineer, now just retired. His hands, once steady over bridges, trembled when he reaches for his tea. No one sought his advice anymore. The world had moved on. He felt like a failure, not because he failed, but because society told him he was finished. Every day he started at his old projects wondering, was that all I am? Still deadlines, obsolete codes? Then came the envelope. No sender, no stamp. Just one line. Your treasure is waiting. Begin walking. Inside was an ancient looking map, not of any land but of thought, cryptic symbols, Sanskrit verses, a strange seal that read Atmadarshan. He dismissed it at first until the dreams began. Each night he saw flashes of a child holding fire in his hands. A whisper called from the mountains, return what isn't yours, reclaim what was never lost. On impulse, he packed his bag. No electronics, no laptop, just the map and something heavier, his questions. He left behind the medals, the framed degrees, even his nameplate. In his mind, he wasn't Arun the engineer anymore. He was a seeker. His journey led him to a remote ashram where ancient scriptures were studied in silence. The first thing he heard there was not a welcome, but a riddle. If you were never broken, why are you fixing yourself? He didn't answer, he couldn't. Instead, he listened. Each day, he sat with scholars much younger than him, listening to verses from the Upanishads. He was confused, frustrated, angry even. These weren't technical manuals, they were paradoxes, asking him to let go of proving himself. He thought he was studying, but the teachings were studying him. He saw how he had traded his truth for approval, that he carried a borrowed identity his whole life, that the applause of the world had drowned the silence of his soul. One night, alone in the courtyard, Arun performed a strange act. He took out his oldest engineering certificate and under the full moon, he burned it. Not in anger, but as an offering. Not to reject his past, but to return the weight that was never his to carry. I return this label. I am not this success. I am not this failure. He felt the first crack of freedom. In the days that followed, the verses of Vedanta grew clearer. You are not what you think. You are not the witness of thought. He began observing, not controlling, acting, not expecting. His sense of self, once built on what he built, now rested in who he was beneath it all. Then came the greatest test. The ashram struggled with rising electricity costs, relying on inconsistent supply. Arun observed the waste piling up, organic matter, paper, old cloth, food wastes. He saw not garbage, but potential energy. Quietly, he built a compact system that turned community waste into electricity, a blend of engineering skills and ancient detachment designed not for credit, but contribution. Soon, the ashram's nights glowed steadily, powered by what was once discarded. Bills dropped. Hope rose. He didn't seek thanks. He didn't take credit. He smiled as they called it miraculous, because he knew this was not his doing. He had acted without attachment. In that moment, he found his tribe, not by blood, but by belonging, not by likeness, but by alignment. He was surrounded not by engineers, but by seekers who saw him. One child whispered, "I want to grow up like you." Arun laughed softly. "No, grow beyond me." Years passed. Arun became a guide, not a guru. He taught how to build without building walls. He taught how every life is a structure and the foundation must be the self. On his last day, he left behind no will, only a final line in his diary. The treasure was never far, but the ashes had to fall before I could see the map clearly.